constituency #1 and #2. And wherever they are, yo quiero decir, muy buenas noches una vez más. Y bienvenido a la gente de Dominicana y la gente de Cuba y también la gente de Venezuela. Tengo un mensaje sencillo para ustedes. Yo quiero decirles a ustedes que en 2015, cuando ganaron las elecciones aquí en San Kitts, el gobierno actual de Timothy Harris y Sean Richards y los demás llevaron a la gente de Dominicana a la cárcel. Llevaron a la gente de Dominicana a la cárcel. Y ahora, en 2020, cuando vean que van a perder las elecciones, quieren hacer cualquier cosa ahora para la gente de Dominicana, la gente de Cuba. Yo quiero decir que miren, no dejan que ellos dicen y hagan muchas cosas para ustedes ahora. Ustedes quieren que tomar el dinero que le van a dar a ustedes. Tomar el dinero, todo el dinero. Y durante las elecciones, ustedes tienen que votar para el equipo de labor. Aquí en constituencia #1, ustedes tienen que votar para la mano y votar para el doctor Jeffrey Hanley. En la constituencia #2, ustedes tienen que votar para la señorita Marcela Liber. Y si hay gente también en constituencia #3, hay que votar. Hay que votar para el rey Conris Maynard. Lo que quieren hacer ahora es hacer cualquier cosa. Son ladrones robando el dinero del gobierno, robando el dinero de la gente de San Kitts-Nevis, engañar a la gente de ustedes solo para votar para ellos. Así que ustedes no pueden votar para ellos. Nosotros aquí vamos a hacer cualquier cosa para ustedes. Les van a dar casas, les van a dar trabajo. Ustedes no tienen trabajo ahora. Y ustedes tienen que decirles que miren, el mejor partido para el país de San Kitts-Nevis es el equipo de labor. Aquí con nosotros. So the people of St. Kitts-Nevis, I had to say it to the people who from Santo Domingo, Cuba and Venezuela. Because what they are doing, they are trying to scare them. Give them all sorts of things. But I remember in 2015 when they won the elections, they get all of them together. Whether they are in party, they are in the discotheque, they are in the park, anywhere they are. And they throw them in the cells. They throw them in the cells. And now because they want some votes, because they realize that they are losing the elections, they want to give them all sorts of chicks and gimmicks now. Fool them off to vote for them. That is why I had to speak Spanish this evening. Because la gente de Dominicana, la gente de Cuba, all of you who speak Spanish, you have to vote for Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, Marcela Liber, Conris Maynard, Kenny Douglas, Leon Nutter, Steve Rensford, wherever you are in St. Kitts-Nevis, vote for the Labour candidates. If you want a better St. Kitts-Nevis, you must vote for a Labour Party because we need all it. And finally, I want to say to you, are you satisfied with what you have right now? Are you satisfied with what you have right now? Do you have money in your pockets? Can you feed your families? So what we have to do come next election, we have to vote them out. We must change the change. Time for them to go. We must bid them bye-bye. When they come to you, tell all of them bye-bye. Bye-bye Team Disunity. Buy all of them and vote for the St. Kitts-Nevis Labour Party. Thank you and God bless you.
What a wonderful presentation. Only 2 words I know in Spanish. One is gracias. Gracias, Kenny. But I said tonight, we have come to give you information in this meeting. And I'm sure all of you by now must have heard of what transpired this Monday when a judgment on John L. Powell and Lindsey Grant was posted on the OECS website. And I'm inviting all of you within the hearing of my voice or viewing of us to go to the website and read it for yourselves. Read it for yourselves. But I said in the very beginning when we started that we have a corrupt government, and that judgment that brings a damning indictment on Lindsey Grant and John L. Powell for misappropriation of their clients' funds tells you that we have a corrupt government. Those are 2 of the faces in the forefront of Team Unity. Have you heard Dr. Timothy Harris say anything about that judgment? Have you heard Sean Richards? Have you heard Mark Brantley? Have you heard the Attorney General? Why is it they are so silent? Well, a court has said to you that the Minister of Tourism has engaged in misappropriation of his clients' funds. Why are they so quiet? In Jamaica, the Minister of Education, Royal Reid, I think is the name, had some allegations against him for some sort of fraud. He tendered his resignation. And even before the matter was tried, even before they brought any charges against him, the Prime Minister said he has to go because it is a stain on the government and it is a stain on the integrity of the people of Jamaica. Look at the difference. Here, the matter done try. They don't find that they engage in misappropriation. It reached a stage now where the judge said he putting them before 2 judges for disciplinary measures. And what the disciplinary measures are? Either for them to be suspended from practicing as lawyers or for them to be completely disbarred as lawyers. That's where we are now in that matter. But yet, they remain in the government, the face of corruption. But what do you expect? What do you expect from a corrupt government? And if you needed any evidence, you got it this week, Monday. Imagine the client went to them and said he had an agreement to buy a condo somewhere. Done pay $15,000 as a deposit. They tell the man, don't buy that again. Make the man lose his $15,000. Lindsey Grant, tell the man, no, don't buy that, buy another property. The man done deposit the $15,000. Make the man lose the $15,000. And then when the man deposit the money in the account now, the $460,000, they can't find the man money. At one point, they tell the man if they could pay back by installments. Yet they went on the radio station and pray to God that they ain't do nothing. Everybody else wrong is just politics. At one point when the man went to Lindsey Grant and say, where is the money? Lindsey Grant tell him the money is not available. Yet they say they ain't do nothing. It's all about labor and the lawyers and everybody except them. But when you read that judgment, you would see from the evidence, which is overwhelmingly damning. At another point, remember, this matter was supposed to close in September 2015. Up to January 2017, they have not paid. Almost 2 years later. And then when they start to pay in December 2017, they give the man a check that bounce. A bounce check. A bounce check. In December 2017, and you want to tell me that we, the people of St. Kitts-Nevis, will accept that as our standard for people to run for public office? That is what we are saying? That is what we want? I don't believe so either. And so I want to say to you tonight that we must ensure that that does not happen in this country. So we call on Sean Richards, because they are all candidates of PAM. They are PAM candidates. So it is a stain on PAM. One is the chairman, and one is some executive member of PAM and the former leader. You understand now why Blanchett and Bernard Welch and all them left? They threw them out because they were protecting Lindsey Grant. And it looks as though they're trying to protect him again from a court indictment. Throughout Blanchett and them, who was saying in the first place with the Marriott story that he needed to go. Now you have a serious indictment on him. He cannot continue to be the minister of tourism. Else is joke we're making in this country. And so I call on Sean Richards as the leader of PAM. I don't hear the leader, but he says he's the leader of PAM. Come out and remove them to take the stain off of PAM. And the PAM people should also pressure them. I call on Timothy Harris as the Prime Minister to remove Lindsey Grant from the government and take the stain off the country and offer the government and remove John L. Powell as ambassador. These are not to you. We as a people must not accept that. We must never accept that from no side. This is not politics. This is about our country. And our country must not accept that. So I'm waiting to hear from the Bar Association. I'm waiting to hear from the chamber. I'm waiting to hear from the church. I'm waiting to hear from all those civic organizations who say they stand up for ethics and morality. I'm waiting to hear from them. But in the meantime, I'll call the next speaker to the microphone. Next speaker who comes from constituency number 4, where Lindsey Grant will be removed, and if not removed, defeated. But we must make sure that he's removed. And so next speaker is none other than our Ambassador Steve Rensford.
Comrades, good night. I want to say good night to constituency number 1, Comrades, very special night to you. I want to say good night to our supporters in the diaspora and those who follow us consistently and give us advice. I want to say good night to my comrades from constituency number 4. And I want to say good night to each and every person within the sound of my voice. Comrades, tonight we are here to endorse my good friend, Dr. Jeffrey Hanley. Jeffrey Hanley, as I know him, is a good man. He's a man who is true to his words. And Jeffrey seek not to deceive, like those in Gava's side. Jeffrey is an honest person. He's an honest man. And Jeffrey, above all, is a God-fearing man. And Jeffrey loves his Bible. And I'm sure during the various meetings, you will hear Jeffrey quoting the Bible scriptures. And so he's a God-fearing person and a man of God. Jeffrey is a community activist. And he has devoted his entire life to the development of his community and beyond. Jeffrey is well loved and respected. And Jeffrey is here to bring representation that you deserve and which can only come from a candidate of the next gen team, Jeffrey Hanley, my good friend. But comrades, we know a lot of things are going on in our country. Many things. But I want to bring you hope from the next gen team. And I want to assure you that we in the Labour Party will continue to push our agenda. And our agenda is to deal with you and help you to develop and be empowered. And I will speak to one aspect of our program, which is the small businesses. We want to see our citizens succeed. We want to see our people elevated. Many of our young people, and I'm sure you see two of them here tonight, many of our young people desire to be independent. They don't want handouts. Their desire is to be independent, to make their own money, to manage their own affairs. And to this, I commend those young people. And we in the next gen team will ensure that they are given the opportunity. Labour will invest in small businesses in all the constituencies. And so, Shaq, you'll be looked after. We will assist in training, in marketing fora, to usher in a wave of innovation, creativity, and empowerment. Labour will make it easier for you to start a business. And in addition to making it easier for you to start your business, we also bring attached to it our Start from Zero tax package, which means that you will not be paying any taxes for a time until your business is successful. And in addition, once you're bringing in equipment, and like Shaq, who are bringing in cars, there will be no import duties, no service charge, no environmental levy, no VAT. And so, if you are a photographer and you need to buy cameras and other equipment, the complete shipment will be duty-free. It's a package so that you can develop yourself and be successful. And if you're a small farmer and you need to buy a tractor or a pickup, so too, you will not pay any taxes on that once it is for your business. And only Labour can do that. And I want to assure you that we on this platform, we have a clear vision. We know where we are going. We know where we're coming from. We know the country is in dire straits and it needs the hand of labor to make it rise again. And so we will invest in our people. It is time that our people rise and that this despotic government will not be able to topple them once again. But I cannot leave without touching the Lindsay Marriott, Tanzil, Klepto Grant, and Ronald Powell. Nowhere in the world can they have been and still in office. Only in St. Kitts. Only in St. Kitts. And somebody sang a song couple decades ago. Only in St. Christopher. And it was a time when Pam was in government. Now again, Pam back in government. The same thing again. So we know there's a trend. Corruption. And we have a job to do on election day. On election day, make sure you carry your neighbor to vote for Labour. Precisely. So you carry your neighbor and make your neighbor vote Labour. Because at the end of the day, the neighbor will thank you for voting Labour. Imagine you gave me some money to hold for you, to buy something. And then when you're ready for the money, I tell you, boy, you go hold on. When the first thing you do, you're not going to police? Yeah. So they move the policeman who was going to arrest Lindsey Grant and John Powell, They move him. So the government is into full-time corruption. All of them are thieves. Alibaba and the 40 thieves. That's the government. Alibaba and the 40 thieves. And I saw them when I was coming to this meeting. Alibaba and the 40 thieves are in challengers buying drinks for people. And think buying drink gonna save Lindsay behind. No way! He's gone! Gone! Lindsay cannot survive in number 4. He will not survive. I will ensure that because he has to go. I cannot allow my small children who are just 9 years old to have that as an example to follow. Now Lindsey Grant, no way, he has to go. And then, imagine, had me bounce a check for Lindsey Grant, I'd have been in jail. But he bounced check for the man money, and he ain't in jail because the government protected him. Yeah, you need to stop it. He loves to thief too much. He wanted to steal our money at Marriott. We didn't put him in. Some people allow him to fool them in number 4, and they put him in. And he now shows his true intent to steal, and still steal. So, again, we have a job to do. Please, don't take it lightly. Make sure you walk with your neighbor. Okay? Because they might hold your neighbor behind you, They have a lot of money to bribe people, So I don't want them to bribe you. So I want you to hold your neighbor. Okay? But I'll show you how corrupt he is. He has a bunch of people in number 4 taking off people's name. And a registration officer is supposed to be a referee between parties, not colluding with parties. And I will send a warning that this collusion better stop, because I believe there's something in the law for collusion by these officers. And I will ask an officer, I will ask a lawyer, because there's collusion, and I'll show you where there's collusion. There's a young lady in Station Street, born in Old Road, live in Old Road, still live in Old Road. And because they know the lady name, they have objected to her name. The lady name is Tamara Brown. She's Fla's daughter from Old Road. And they put her name on the objection list. The registration officer has not done her research. And had they done their research, they don't know the way the young lady lives. In addition to that, I'm going to show you how blatant they are and how stupid they are. They have put my sister's name on the objection list. My sister. When they think they don't get away with that, they can't get away with that. That's my elder sister. And she wants to see her brother get elected. And he will be elected. They can't stop her from not voting. She will vote. So I send a message to them. They better would correct that list they have out in the constituency. Because there are persons who live in the constituency, who are resident in the constituency, who can be easily be found. But they are targeting Labour people. All because they have seen the writing on the wall. And so as I wrap up, people, all of us are fed up. I am fed up. Aren't you fed up? Yes, all of us are fed up. This unity government has to go. It has to go. They don't care about people, much less Labour people. They don't care about their own. Because they are fired their own. But we ain't talk the one yet. They fired their own already. But we ain't talk the one yet. And next meeting, when you come to the next meeting, I'll tell you about the one. Right? But Harris, all the big bad wolf he is, just ring the bell. Just ring the bell. That's all he has to do. Ring the bell. Yeah. But they are going around on their last hurrah. Right now, as I said, they're in challengers buying drinks. And in the whole road, they'll be in the road on Saturday buying drinks again. But at the end of the day, Lindsey Grant is gone. 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 And it is Steve for sure in number 4. So, comrades, this is their last hurrah. So I want you not to be afraid, because the government will change. Be bold. Support your Labour candidates. Protect your Labour candidates. Make sure you vote on election day early. So by 1 o'clock, we know all 8 of us are returned to government. By 1 o'clock, we should say proudly and confidently that we know the people have voted for us. And so I want to leave with you one thing. Be bold. Be loud. Don't be afraid. Protect your comrades. Protect your leaders. And vote them out. And kick them out. And we shall march into Church Street. Thank you, comrades.
Comrades, I believe what Dr. Joe saying, you know. Steve changed his diet. He eating something different. Dr. Joe is eating coconut dumpling. That's what Dr. Joe say he eating. And that coconut dumpling got in a lot of pepper. A lot of pepper in it. Comrades, we keep talking about the supervisor of elections and how we have to be very careful. There's an election, a by-election in Nevis, as you know, today. And we just got news. Guess what? The supervisor turns up in his private car to take away the boxes. You ever hear that? Where you ever hear a supervisor of elections come to pick up the boxes from the polling station in his own private vehicle. But guess what? The people were on the ball and they block off the road. That's what Steve is saying, be bold. Block off the road and they said, no, you ain't leaving here today with them boxes. They said they bring all kind of police and army man and all kind of thing. But guess what? He had to drive off, leave the boxes then. Ain't going nowhere with them. We had to be very careful in this country because in that same ruling from Monday, there was a damning indictment from the judge on Janine Harris Lake, the registrar. And it's important for you all to know because I keep saying to you that what we have in this country is political justice. And that can't be right. Everybody must be equal before the law. You can't lock up people for politics or let them go for politics. This is what is happening. This is dangerous. Now the judge himself is saying that in that case with Janelle Powell and Lindsey Grant, the registrar played a part. She was colluding with them. Imagine, out of the registrar's office, they send confidential information to Janelle Powell and Lindsey Grant. Out of the registrar's office. What kind of justice is that? How can we have any confidence that when we put our matters in the court, we are being treated fairly? How can we have any confidence? Imagine she got an application from the man's lawyers in January, I think it was 2018. All she had to do was to put that application before the judge. That's all she had nothing else to do. But she kept it for 9 months. Could you imagine that? She kept it for 9 months. And she only put it on the list to be heard in October of 2018. You might ask, why did she do that? Well, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. The people put the application in January 2018. She put it up to be heard in October, 9 months later. Because in July 2018, they paid the money for the condo. So she was giving them time after all the time they don't have to pay the money. So that when the matter came up now for hearing, you hear them out there saying, we didn't pay the money. We didn't pay the money. You ain't know that the registrar was colluding with them all the time. But don't think she doing that on she own, you know. For you know who she brother is. So it's pure politics they have over there in the registry. Holding back people documents or pushing them forward depending on who you be. She was supposed to sign the judgment against them. All she had to do is sign it. And she waited 16 months. Nearly 2 years. 16 months. She hold on to that document before she signed it. Again, you know why she did that? They were supposed to file some kind of document. So she working with them. And she waited until they filed the documents. And the very next day, she ain't even sensible. Because she didn't get a little time to make it look like, you know. No, the very next day after they filed the documents, she signed the order. This is really something. The words that the judge used. He talked about, you know, how the integrity of the court is affected. He spoke about how can people have any confidence in the justice system. And so again, I'm waiting to hear from the Bar Association. I'm waiting to hear from the church. I'm waiting to hear from the chamber. And I want to know when the Attorney General will remove Janine Harris from the registry. Because we as a country cannot have any confidence in the court system when she is in there taking sides for politics on the advice of her brother. Imagine the lawyers for the man wrote a letter to her to find out things so long. They write a second letter again and say, look, we're going to have to carry you before the judge if you don't deal with our matter. That's when she answered. You know what she said? They're trying to embarrass she brother, and the government. What that got to do with the court? What that got to do with the court? So all she in there doing is playing politics with the court and the justice system for she and she brother. That must come to an end. And that is why we say, come next election, this country has some serious decisions to make. Whether or not we want to continue to have political justice and have Harris and his family in there saying who document they must hold back and who they must put forward and who they must give information to out of the court. You think that's the only case she do that for? You really think so? No way. So we have a decision to make. And I said to you, next gen will ensure that there's justice and fairness for all. And so I call our next speaker. Our next speaker. Who he be? Our next speaker who cares for all of us. Went all the way to Germany in order to ensure that when we go into government, we hit the ground running in health, which is in a sorry mess. And so we call Dr. Terrence Joe to the microphone.
Comrades! East Pasture, how you feeling tonight? You looking good? I think there are about 2,000 people here in the crowd tonight. Just in front of me here. A lot more than that. Put your hands together for yourself. I am happy to be here in East Pasture. It's been a while, but I'm happy to be given the opportunity to endorse the man who is with all of you, Dr. Jeffrey Hanley. Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, I want to bring greetings from the constituency of number 8, the largest constituency now in the Federation. I want to say good night to the people from St. Peter's, from Connery, from Half Moon if you are here, Canada, Keys, Keyon, Atlas, the whole of the constituency. I look at the voters list and the constituency now has about 6,700 voters. It is a very large constituency. And so I want to bring greetings to Jeffrey from my constituency of constituency number 8. Jeffrey has always been with the people. Jeffrey, since he could walk, based on the reports that I'm getting, he has always been with the people. Jeffrey worked as a civil servant and a distinguished civil servant for many years. And when the government changed, they removed him from the position as the director of the PEP program and put him in a school down in constituency number 3, Bronte Welch. And when they thought that they were hurting Jeffrey, Jeffrey transformed that school into one of the best performing schools in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. You can't stop the man. You can't stop the man. They thought they were giving him limes, but he make lemonade. And trust me, Sean drinks some too. And so, Jeffrey record speaks for itself. The man is a man of results, but the man is a man also of the people. I was canvassing in the Gillards area just recently. And you know that there are a lot of people from constituency number 1 in that area. And I did not find one person from constituency number 1 who was not voting for Jeffrey. And all of them said that they had a personal connection with Jeffrey. So Jeffrey ain't just come because it's politics. Jeffrey has been working and representing the people all his life. Put your hands together for Jeffrey. That's the man. Comrades, on a more somber note, I had the opportunity to visit Keyon this evening, and that is why I am a bit late. I was walking house to house in Keyon, which is the strongest palm area traditionally in the whole of St. Kitts. And you must admit that. Even stronger traditionally than Sandy Point. And as I went door to door, the people in Keyon did not want me to leave. They were asking Dr. Joe, what is the next gen SKN plan? They engaged me and wanted to hear what we had to offer to the people of Keyon, constituency number 8, and the whole country. One of the things they were very disappointed with is the state of healthcare in St. Kitts and Nevis. One of the young ladies said to me, I can't understand this. They're finding money for this and money for that. And you go up the hospital and they give you prescription to go downtown to buy medication. Sad. Can you imagine people who can't afford the medication? I don't have anybody to send downtown to buy medication. That is the state of healthcare here in St. Kitts and Nevis. But when you thought that that was the worst you could have heard, I met a gentleman who gave me a story. And he said he took his aunt to the hospital. And she seemed like she was having a stroke. And he had to do a CT scan, an emergency CT scan. And they said to him, you can't get the CT scan done for your 84-year-old aunt unless you come up with $600 right now. Can you imagine that? In St. Kitts and Nevis, an 84-year-old woman with a stroke can't help herself. And her nephew is being forced to come up with $600 to go back for the CT scan before she can get it done. And the CT scan can determine whether you live or you die here in St. Kitts and Nevis. But that is not the end of the story. We are going to make sure that that never happens again in St. Kitts and Nevis. When there's an emergency, nobody's supposed to be asking you for money. They're supposed to take care of you first and discuss that later. And as a matter of fact, no 84-year-old woman or citizen of this country should be paying for any CT scan. That will not happen under Labour. That is the state of healthcare. But it does not stop there. It gets worse. Do you know who owns the CT scan at the hospital? Are you aware the owner of the CT scan at the hospital? All I gonna say is family own the CT scan at the hospital. So they own the MRI and they own the CT scan at the hospital. And their policy is that even if you need an emergency CT scan, you must come up with your money before you go in their machine. That is what healthcare has been brought to here in St. Kitts and Nevis. But I have a message for them. I have a message for them that under the next gen SKN plan, that arrangement will end day one. And people in this country will get the health care that they deserve. They up the hospital and they have the technicians up there doing the CT scans. So while they're making the millions yearly, the technicians in the X-ray department cannot get $1 out of those millions. So they're abusing the X-ray technicians, abusing the radiologists, abusing the healthcare sector while they're raking in millions of dollars per year. And that is the same thing with the MRI machine over at the monkey farm. When you go over there and you have to pay $1,700 and $2,000 plus. They have made in the first year enough money to buy a brand new MRI machine. First year. So how much they making this year and next year and the year after that? And that is why we are saying that under the next gen SKN, that type of arrangement will end here in St. Kitts-Nevis. Put your hands together for the next gen SKN health plan. But it's not only going to be about machines and equipment, but we'll take care of the persons, the workers, the dedicated people in the Ministry of Health. What about the workers in solid waste? Those who keep the streets clean and make sure that we do not have diseases such as cholera and salmonella here in St. Kitts-Nevis. They were told by Eugene Hamilton that they will get an increase. A big letter written to them that they will get an increase. But hear how much increase they get on their money. Some of them, hear how much they get? 10 cents. Had to go take a picture with Hamilton to be displayed across the world as an increase for the solid waste workers, only to find out that they were only given 10 cents. Can you imagine that? The money that was spent on the paper and the ink to print the words for the increase worth much more than 10 cents. So they waste the money to inform them. But I want to say to the solid waste workers that under the next gen SKN health plan, we will ensure that you are once again taken care of. We will not forget you. I'm not only here to put forward a plan to take care of the nurses and the doctors and the technicians and the lab people, but we must remember even those who keep our streets clean and our country in a healthy state of affairs. Put your hands together for the solid waste workers. What about the maids at the hospital? The sister of the Prime Minister is the head of government payroll. She went up to the hospital and called the maids into a meeting. Big meeting. All the maids went, think that they're getting a raise. But when they went to the meeting, they were told by the payroll master that the government of labor overpaid them. And imagine the maids are the lowest paid of the hospital and cut their money. Minimum wage people had their money cut by this government. The maids up there having it hard because they work for minimum wage. They depended on the overtime to increase their monies so that they can take care of the families, pay their bills, send their children to school, make sure they can wear nice skirt and pants like everybody else. Make sure they got money to go doctor if they want to go doctor. But they went and decreased the maids' money. But I want to say to the maids that they say labor overpay you. Well, under the next gen SKN health plan, labor will overpay you again. Put your hands together for the maids. And so, comrades, citizens, the next gen SKN plan for health is a comprehensive plan, because all of us will benefit. And the next thing we're going to introduce under universal health care is health insurance for those who do not have. Eugene Hamilton had a big song and dance that he'll bring health insurance. And today, the people are left with nothing. Do you know how it hurts when I see patients die because they can't afford health insurance. A patient came to me this week. It's painful. You don't know how painful it is. And as the patient sat across from me, and that patient needed dialysis, that patient said to me that she will not continue her dialysis. I said, why? I called her family member and I said, you understand what would happen to this lady? That she walk into my office now, but if she's not treated, she'll be dead in less than a week. And when it comes to the come-to, is that the family could not afford it because each session is $800 or more. And if you have 3 sessions per week, and you say multiply 800 times 3, if my maths is good, it will be $2,400. Very few people in this country work for $2,400 per month, much less per week. And how can I feel good as a doctor sending away a lady who I know will be dead very shortly because she don't have the money? That cannot happen under a Labour government. That is too painful to witness. Too painful to witness. And so I want to say that we need a different arrangement when it comes to healthcare here in St. Kitts-Nevis. But I also want to say to the farmers here that you form part of creating a healthy society here in St. Kitts-Nevis. You have been abused. And I see family here with us tonight. You have been abused. You have been neglected. Nothing was put in place to ensure that you have a successful farming practice. All the animals dead. 2 years I was on the radio telling them the animals in St. Kitts are dying. Eugene Hamilton went on the radio and said to this country that there is no crisis in St. Kitts with respect to the animals dying. Told the country that. You all remember that? Told them that. Make the farmers outside without help. Their animals were dying week after week after week. I go to St. Peter's. I talk to the farmers. You see the animals dying. When it reached a critical point that the farmers went on the radio, came on the radio and said he did not know what was going on fully. But he had about 2 or 3 meetings with the farmers, had them sign papers, and up to today, the farmers cannot get any compensation. So here, what is the plan for the farmers? They're going to give them vertical. And as Lee said, now all the animals dead. We are going to try. We are going to try. And Miskin, the man ain't going to lies. That's what the man said. He not going to bug. So where he going to throw the vertical? And that is the plight of the farmers here in St. Kitts-Nevis. And they have lost millions of dollars collectively. And that is why I want to say to the farmers that the St. Kitts-Nevis Labour Party will compensate the farmers because they have lost too much and too much to recover all on their own. So the next gen SKN agricultural plan will make sure that our farmers are taken care of. Farming will once again become a priority, and we will introduce climate smart farming or agriculture. Climate smart agriculture. So that with the climate change, we can continue to have proper agricultural practices here so that we can feed our people and feed our people well. I want the people to know that agriculture will be a priority under the next gen SKN plan. Healthy living, as he said, on the labor. Healthy living on the labor. But comrades, I also want to say that we'll introduce technology into farming, so that all the farmers will be connected to a portal. So if Lee got 10 goats up in Monkey Hill he want to sell, Lee could go on his cell phone and post, I got 10 goats to sell. And a man all the way down in Newton Ground could see that Lee got 10 goats to sell and give Lee a call and collect the 10 goats. If a man got a lot of okra in Kayon he can put it on the portal, and a man all the way down in Old Road can see that he has okra to sell and can make the connection. We will create opportunities for farmers so that they can continue to grow and excel. But the fishers also will be taken care of because we have a plan. I want to say already that I am in discussion with a major university to come and help us here in St. Kitts-Nevis with our farming situation. Comrades, we have to hit the ground running. And so we are letting the people know that farming will be taken seriously. And so I want to say, in the end, and I said this in constituency number 1, the first time I spoke about it was right here in constituency number 1. When I spoke about the Grant and Powell issue. And they were saying, using some big words called misappropriated and misappropriation and all these fancy words. And I went into the dictionary and I pulled out the synonyms of these words, which simply means words with similar meanings. And it's in the dictionary, which was none other than the Cambridge Dictionary, a reputable dictionary, tells me that that means thief and to embezzle and to rob and all sorts of things. So the question I have for my country tonight, the question I have for the Christian Council, the Evangelical Association, the Bar Association, the Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and all the other organizations in St. Kitts-Nevis, how are we going to accept that persons who had judgment passed on them for misappropriation of funds, which in the dictionary tells me that that is thief and embezzlement, stand for political office in this country? How can that happen? Are you going to allow that to happen? Are you going to allow that to happen? This has nothing to do with politics. This has to do with the standards that we wish to uphold here in St. Kitts-Nevis. And that is why we are saying that we can never accept anybody who would have been accused, but not only accused, but a judgment passed against them for such actions to run for political office. And therefore, we are saying that Grant and Powell must go. 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 So comrades, and so I want to say finally to all of our people who are listening that you must say that Grant and Powell must go, because our country will not accept anybody who would have gone to the court and had this type of judgment against them to run for political office. Because I'm telling you, I told John L. Powell that the St. Kitts-Nevis Labour Party was passing what we call a code of ethical conduct, and all of our officials and candidates have to sign it. You remember we had that beautiful ceremony down in Galaxy, you remember that? I told John L. Powell and Win FM that I am the chairman of the St. Kitts-Nevis Labour Party, and with the support of my leader and all of my colleagues, we have put forward this platform, or this code of ethical conduct. And then I said to John L., you're of the younger generation, join us and put a code of ethical conduct before your PAM party. And John L. laughed it off. And I wonder why he was laughing it off. But may I realize John L. was involved in these kind of things. I am so disappointed in the young man. I am so disappointed that I am calling for his resignation tonight on grounds of misconduct in the court. And so I want to say to John L. Powell from here, that young man, I want to wish you all the best personally. I have nothing against you personally, but for the sake of our country, for the soul of our country, we can and will never accept that persons who have these judgments against them should stand for political office. And I want to say to all of you that we in the St. Kitts-Nevis Labour Party, we in the next gen SKN, bring home that we'll be on the top again. I want you to understand that better is coming with the St. Kitts-Nevis Labour Party and next gen. Thank you, good night, and God bless all of you.
Comrades, put your hands together again for our Minister of Health in the waiting. Our Minister of Health will replace 3 Ministers of Health, 3 incompetent Ministers of Health. Put your hands together for Dr. Joe, for he cares for you. But I have some very important news for you. Cleon Simmons, clean them up in Nevis. She cleaned them up in Nevis. Yes, woman power. Hail up to the women. She cleaned them up. Yeah, yeah. So put a smile upon my face and take you to another place. So come to find the rest of me. Remember, don't do it. She ran every single box. She got 514 votes to 199. She cleaned up this and that. So let he go sing about that now. Let he go sing about that. Comrades, the winning has started. And we will finish it off down here. Whenever they call the next election. Next gen SKN all the way. Since we're in this winning mode, I will call the next speaker because he's none other than Leon Winning Nata Nelson.
It's mine.
Comrades of East Pasture, what's going on, comrades? We're back in the house of the gentle giant, but we're going Nevis tomorrow. Ready for them. Whether it's the first boat, whether it's the second boat, or the third boat, we're going to Nevis tomorrow. But tonight we're in East Pasture, so let's take care of the matters here first before we go to Nevis. We're in East Pasture tonight. We are in the home of the gentle giant. We are in the home where the next man who wants to represent you is a man of nothing. Comrades, in fact, comrades, just listen for a minute. Just listen. Comrades, listen for a minute. You hear anything? That's nothing. That's what Patchy sound like. If you're listening to him in Parliament, he sound like nothing. If you're listening to him on the radio, he sound like nothing. He had about the bash and the court just some time ago. The boat the back was nothing. Nothing but concrete. Nothing but corruption. Nothing but nothing. But you want to hear what East Pasture sound like? You want to hear what East Pasture sound like? Come Jeffrey, tell them what East Pasture sound like.
Comrades of Labour, good night. Well, Pasture is on fire. I am with you, East Pasture.
That is what East Pasture sound like. Comrades, you hear what East Pasture sound like? Jeffrey says, I am with you. Jeffrey says he is with you for jobs. He is with you for housing solutions. He is with you for business opportunities. He is with you for the advancement of the youth of constituency number 1. That is what leadership sounds like from the next gen SKN. And you, the people of East Pasture, have to ensure that a man who is with you all the way in Parliament. Comrades, last week we had a meeting in Mansions in constituency 7. And I told the people of number 7 what the future of number 7 will look like as Leon Natta as their representative. I told the people that I will bring about $50 to $60 million of investment to the constituency of number 7. I will invest in about 200 to 250 homes in the first term. And not just empty homes. For you understand what I say, that no more empty houses in constituency 7. If you want a stove it shall be. If you want a bed set it shall be. If you want a washing machine it shall be. If you want a stove to cook on, a stove it shall be. No more empty houses in constituency 7. And our housing solution will start in Phillips Village and Bellevue, where the big belly man has abandoned the people of Phillips Village and Bellevue for so many years. And he can't come now to bring any housing solution. Because he don't have the money in NSC. And so he went to beg some money from somewhere and build some plastic houses in Mansion. Up to now, 10 months the house and building and they can't finish. The longest built houses in the NSC building is under Timothy Harris. But all the man could do is bring an argument about Douglas. If you have a press conference, it's Douglas. If you have a town hall meeting, it's Douglas. I told the people I will bring an investment to upgrade the sporting facilities in Atlas. Today, just very today, the Violet Petty School had their sports day in Atlas. And for so long, while the children use that facility, they can't find a restroom. They have to bring porta potties. Whenever there's football, the spectators and the players alike, they have no restroom to use. But that is why Tim don't come down there, because he said a bathroom down there. And who's supposed to put the bathroom? Ain't he supposed to put the bathroom? But on the other hand, the man called Harris, all he does is bring an argument about Douglas, and then all he does is bring nepotism. I told the people of Constituency 7, who resides in Last Village, who resides in Borio, that we will remove the public bath right there by the main road, and we will construct a brand new facility that if you want to have a meeting, you can have a meeting. If you want to have a party, you can have a party. If you want to have the excess band play at your wedding, then the excess band can play at your wedding. But the people of Lodge and Borio must be comforted by something of a facility of that nature where they can have recreational activities, so that they can advance themselves, so that they can have social activities. But all the man can come with is an argument about Douglas. All he can come with is nepotism. All he can come with is corruption. I said to the people of number 7 that we shall expand the duty-free sector, and where we have the mansion sliding, we will have duty-free shops. I told the people of number 7 that we will have a brand new racetrack in Tabernacle Village. And those 2 items, compared with what Canus is going to do in the village with the Cultural Avenue, adding to what Dr. Joe is going to do at Sofa Stone, adding to what Steve is going to do with a heritage site in Old Road, that will become the new package for the tourism in St. Kitts-Nevis. That is next gen. That is advancing our tourism product. That is creating jobs. But all the man can do is come with an argument about Douglas. Come with nepotism. Come with corruption. And now he's supporting thieving. There is nothing of substance that they are bringing to the people of number 7. There is nothing of substance that they bring into the people of St. Kitts-Nevis. All they are talking about is an argument about Douglas. But comrades, don't fear them, because Dougie ain't fear them. Dougie ain't fear them at all. And you don't fear them, because just like how they win in Nevis, it's just so we can bang them in the election. Comrades, I told the people of number 7 that myself and Dr. Joe is going to ensure that agriculture survives in this country. And so, I am going to ensure that a brand new facility is built just on the outside of Christchurch. A facility that will house a Department of Agriculture. A facility that will have a brand new abattoir. A brand new market for the farmers. We will ensure that the eastern side of this country that does the most farming, from St. Peter's all the way to St. Paul's, have access to a brand new facility that will aid the farmers to have their livestock better and their farming produce more available to the people of St. Kitts-Nevis. Comrades, after we have built that facility in mansions, we will remove that old facility in Tabernacle. And when we remove that facility in Tabernacle, we will now have a new family park in the heart of Tabernacle. We will have a new family park with a brand new basketball court and a brand new netball court for the young people of Tabernacle. And where we have that old court that Timothy built, where nobody used at all, we will use that to have new business ideas that we have received from the young men of Tabernacle, so that they could advance themselves, so that we can have new businesses in the constituency. And we will continue the prosperity agenda for the people of St. Kitts-Nevis. But comrades, elections are yet 100 meters to the victory. We are 100 meters to elections and the victory. So I ask you to get ready. Get ready in number 1 to support your man, Jeffrey Hanley. I ask you to get ready in number 2 so that you can ensure that Marcella is returned to office. I ask you to get ready for the King Conwys to sprint down the avenue and win big for you in number 3. And you hear Steve tonight. You hear Steve with the diet, the coconut dumpling Steve. Steve, he will be sure in number 4. So get ready to sprint to the victory with Steve. Sean is gone. Kenny is on. Make sure that the people of number 5 come alive with Kenny Douglas. And in number 8, where you have the most caring doctor. In number 8, where you have the most caring doctor, you must ensure that this care is extended to the parliament. Vote Dr. Terence Joe. I don't like to talk about 6, because 6 is pure licks. You see how Cleon she licks? Well, all Dougie do is she licks. And comrades, when it comes to 7, are you ready for the race? Long time. So call the elections. As a matter of fact, when the elections are done, call out number 7 first. Because when they gonna count the votes in box 1, he gonna say, Lord, what the heck is going on? When he don't count the votes in box 2, he gonna say, Lord, this can't be for true. When he don't count the votes in box 3, he said, Lord, not what you doing to me. When he don't count the votes in box 4, he gonna say, not Lord, no more. When they vote the vote in box 5, he got heartbeat, gonna take a dive. And when they count the vote in box 6, he gonna say, not a man, no man, this is too much legs. When they count the vote in box 7, he gonna realize, Lord, no more Harris again. By the time they count the votes in 8, he gone JNF. Comrades, this is your next gen parliament. Ensure that you vote for each one of your candidates in each of the constituencies. We are here for you. We care for you. We have an agenda for you. God bless. Good night.
Let's hear it for Leon winning Nata Nelson. And I want to say something to the people of number 7. At some point in time, we have to ask ourselves, put aside all the politics, if this is what we want for our country. You want to put a man who take all his family and put them in the top positions in the country. Take the first 3.5 or 4 years of his term in office, giving them the top jobs, the top contracts, filling them up. And then he come in the last shower rain, even when he 5 years done expire. Flitting up and down all over the place, buying drinks for people, giving out food, all kind of thing. Are we going to accept that as a people? No. So I said to the people of number 7, think about what we want for yourselves and your country. You cannot see 26 years of representation in number 7. Some people going out like Timothy Harris just arrived on the scene. 26 years he has been the elected representative for number 7. 26. And I will go with you and you show me if you see 26 years of representation over there in number 7. So I said to you, the people of number 7, to give Nata a chance. Because Nata has new initiatives. He has next gen ideas. And more than that, Nata is a loving, caring man. Not a user and not an abuser. So vote for Nata in the upcoming elections. Comrades, one of the issues that you have to look to in this election is how so many people are unemployed and so many more are becoming unemployed. They said in the manifesto that they can bring 2 industrial parks to St. Kitts. Look it up. Page 32 on the manifesto. 2 industrial parks they said they bring into St. Kitts and 1 to Nevis. If all you find a microscope anywhere, try see if you can find them for us. They have not delivered on the promises. Larry Vaughan is carrying out an exercise. Check Larry Vaughan Facebook page. And he done reach over 100 promises in the manifesto that they have not delivered on. 100. That's a real hoax on the people. And the time has come for us to say, we want no more hoax. Vote them out. And so what's happening? Even though they claim that they're going to be expanding the manufacturing sector, look what's happening. Lutron left. And over 100 jobs won. No Harrow. Was it half a Harrow? Going. 125 jobs by the end of May will be gone. And this government has done absolutely nothing in 5 years. Tell me if you could point to anything that you should have brought in to expand the manufacturing sector or brought in for any kind of jobs to this country. Nothing. But the country keeps losing jobs. Many of them women, single mothers who have to look after their children. Ashbury is just shut down. People are losing their jobs. Well, we have a lot of talk and talk and talk. The only people who pocket full is the Harris Empire. The Harris Empire. So we have to decide whether we want to put back in Harris to fill up his pocket and his family more and to have them in the court carrying out political justice on the country, or whether we want to bring back good governance to the country of St. Kitts and Nevis. So we have to make sure whenever the elections and call, we do a clear one on them. Clean them up and vote them out. And so I bring to the microphone the man from number 3 who know how to clean them up. He gonna be winning bigger this time. Bigger this time. And so I call Congress to the microphone. Winning bigger Congress.
When we move as one, they can't keep labor. They can't keep labor down. No turn it, no turn it, no turn it. Comrades, good night to the comrades in the east. I can't hear you. Good night to the comrades in the east. And just like the west will bring it home, the east will bring it home. It is high time to say goodbye. Goodbye to Patches, because he has been patchy at best. He has been patchy at best. Everything he has done it patchy. Comrades, it is a privilege and a pleasure for us to be here in East Pasture to support Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, the next representative of constituency number 1. Everybody knows Jeffrey. Everybody knows that Jeffrey has been working his entire life to help other people. I could recall as a young fellow, I must have been about 10 or 11 or thereabout. Jeffrey was already a community activist. And as a young fella, as we were doing what we are trying to do now, change the government, Dr. Jeffrey Hanley led a group of young fellas, young ladies on the streets of Pasture as young labor comrades. I was a flag boy, I think is what they call it. And Jeffrey led that as part of his community activism to bring about the well-needed change we needed in this country in 1993 and 1995. Fast forward a few years. As a teenager, I meet up Jeffrey again. This time in the government that he had worked hard to put in office. And he, along with Scratch Ward, had started this Ganipo program, which was the St. Kitts National Youth Parliament Association. And there Jeffrey helped to mold young people like myself to prepare us for how we are to be representatives in our parliament. And so that is why it gives me great pleasure to now be on the same team with Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, because he had a hand in my own molding, so that today the people of constituency number 3 can know that they have a representative who will always be looking after their interests. A representative who has stayed with them from the time and even before I was announced as a candidate. And so in constituency number 3, there are good things to look forward to on our next gen SKN administration. We are concerned about developing our constituency bit by bit. We want to support young people in their ideas to get new businesses. Just before I came here, as I was canvassing, I spoke with a young man who has ideas for his business. And he told me the plans that we have for new businesses under the next gen SKN policy is just what he's looking for. You see, what we have is that someone who wants to start a new business, we are saying under the next gen SKN policy that we will allow you to come with your idea. There will be no application fees. There will be no taxes until your business is up and running. That is the kind of space that young people need to be able to develop their businesses so that they could become profitable before we start to tax. They are also excited about in my own constituency, where I have committed to building a small business mall complex so that someone like him who has his business idea can rent at a minimal cost a stall in the small business mall complex that has a storefront, that has an office, that has storage, so that he could professionally provide his services. Small businesses like him as well in the Boyds and West Farm, Trinity area can look forward to the identification of commercial spaces, because that area will be one of the faster growing areas in St. Kitts-Nevis just now. The St. Kitts-Nevis Labour Party gave out hundreds of lots there. And so that will be part of the expansion of West Pasture. And so we have the ideas that will allow our small businesses to grow, because that is what we need to do to expand our economy. In constituency number 3, you all know my love for sports, and in particular for football. And we give the commitment that under a next-gen SKN administration, with Congress Maynard as the representative, we will deliver a multi-purpose sporting facility in Limekeel, such that the village superstars and the Trafalgar South Stars and other teams from in the village community can have a home ground. After 5 years, this government has focused nothing in constituency number 3. They have neglected us for 4.5 years. And now, we have a young lady coming to pretend to be the savior. But what is important, and maybe before I say that, I want to say this, and I think you remember too. I recall many, many years ago, when I was plying my trade as a calypsonian, I warned people to never, ever wake a sleeping tiger. Never, ever wake a sleeping tiger. And ask anybody who ever tried to wake the sleeping tiger what happened to them. Ask anybody who ever tried to wake the sleeping tiger what happened to them. And so I will give a little break tonight. But consider yourself warned. Rascal ain't easy, boy. Comrades, and maybe that's what I should say. Well. What punch trouble in the place. And so the coalition government that has expired had a town hall meeting in St. Johnson Community Center a few nights ago. Well, first of all, I want to know how the government is holding a town hall meeting in St. Johnson Village, disguising as a town hall, but really a political meeting. We went to ask if we can use the St. Johnson Community Center, and they told us that they are not renting out the community center because it needs fixing. The very same night or a day later, the government is in there having a town hall meeting. And they use the town hall with taxpayers' money to cost people. And so now we are finally hearing the voice of the caretaker, Mrs. Akila Nisbet. And you know, somebody told me, they messaged me, and told me that Akila Nisbet is counterfeit. And I said, what do you mean by that? What do you mean she's counterfeit? They told me she's fake. She's pretentious. She's not real. She's not genuine. And then when I start to think about it, I realize that the person might be right. Let's look at it. She left her job at ECCB, where she had to work hard to earn her living. And then she goes to the port, get a big title, and doesn't show up to work. That's counterfeit. Akila is really a counterfeit. Fake. Imagine that her uncle-in-law was the deputy political leader of a party. She is talking to him. Unbeknownst to him, she is colluding with Timothy Harris to overthrow Sam Conda as the deputy political leader. That's a counterfeit. That's a fake. That's somebody who is pretentious. I also heard that Akila is saying she grew up in the village and she hailed from the village. Why start off your political career with a blatant lie like that? Everybody know that you're from, I think is where, Dorset, constituency number 2. You even represented Labour in a Queen show for constituency number 2. But yet all of a sudden you hail from the village. That's like me saying I'm from Nevis, because I used to go spend time with my grandmother in Nevis every year. Spend months up there in the summer. So it's like I could say I'm from Ramsbury site, Nevis. Counterfeit. The person was right. Counterfeit Akila. She went around the village saying she's just the caretaker. She will not be running. People asked her, are you running? She said no. In the meantime, she knew that that was always the plan. Counterfeit. Fake. Not genuine. When she approaches you, she has a plastered smile on her face. There's no warmth in it. When she hugs you, it feels cold and calculated, because she is counterfeit. She says that she cares about the community, but fails to give just a little bit back to the community. Not even a little scholarship for the young people. A scholarship for students in school. That is what you really call a counterfeit. Last year she promised to help the village superstars as we were going to Curacao for the biggest competition in the club's history. Up to now, they're still waiting on the promise from Akila Nisbet. She promised that she's going to, I remember very clearly, I sponsored the Village League, I think it's in 2017. She went on the field and promised them that she's going to resurface the field, that she's going to build bathrooms. Up to now, nothing at all. Counterfeit. Fake. And we are saying that we are not going to that. You have someone in Congress Maynard who didn't waste 3.5 years as a counterfeit to only now be boasting about building a road that leads directly to your home. Compare that to when Congress Maynard was a candidate for the St. Kitts-Nevis Labour Party and I had the support of the government. What did I choose to do? We built roads in Buckley's extension. Millions of dollars of roads. We resurfaced roads in the village communities. We started building the Boyd's Playfield and the Boyd's Pavilion. We repainted the Dr. William Connor School. We refenced the Patsy Allas playfield. We brought lights to the Limekeel playfield. We renamed streets. We sponsored groups, cultural groups, masquerade groups. We built a greenhouse for farmers. We started sidewalk projects in the constituency. We built houses in the constituency. We empowered small businesses in the constituency, all in 1 year before the last general election. So what excuse can the caretaker have to be showing up after the 5-year anniversary to boast about a road in Mattingly Heights that goes to her home? I'm glad that the others, persons who live there, get the opportunity to have the road. But it is very telling that the same type of nepotism and family first mentality continues with this new candidate. They are only concerned about empowering themselves first. And if you get the crumbs that come off, then that is all for you. And so in constituency number 3, we will not be fooled. We will not turn away from the backbone of the St. Kitts-Nevis Labour Party. You have a good candidate and a good representative in yours truly, Convis Maynard. You know that I can win big, and next election we're gonna win bigger. And so I ask East Pasture to join us in the West to make sure that we deliver Dr. Jeffrey Hanley so that we could get rid of Patchman out of this government and out of the parliament. I ask you to support in number 2 the Honorable Marcella Libard, who also has given her entire life to service, entire life to making people's lives better. In constituency number 4, you see there, the food change, the diet change, the coconut dumping walking. And Grant is out of here when the election is called. Sean is gone in constituency number 5. Licks in constituency number 6. Leon winning Natter will bring the big surprise on election day. And Dr. Drew in constituency number 8 will join us in parliament. So I ask you here in East Pasture tonight to raise your hand in support of the Next Gen SKN team that is serious about transforming the development in St. Kitts and Nevis once again. I love you, thank you, and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Put your hands together for Convis winning bigger, Maynard. Convis will win bigger in number 3. Comrades, I used to be registered in number 2. Live nearly all my life in Dorset. I mean, you know. No, I'm not a kilo. I was living nearly all my life in Dorset. And one day, look, they say, they take off my name off the list. Because you know I live in Bordeaux. I didn't get a chance to defend myself. And so next thing you know, I am Bordeaux. So Jeffrey Hayne come to canvass me actually? No, so I'm waiting for him. I'm waiting for him. Because I live in Bordeaux. And he need to canvass me for my vote. But comrades, I have been carrying the fight against the supervisor of election and the electoral office because, as I told you all along, is in there. They're trying to rig up all kind of things. Jeffrey told you that last week or whatever it was, 318 objections in East Pasture. Imagine that. They object to 318 people in East Pasture. But I want those people to know Objection does not mean that your name is off the list. Your name is on the list. On the list. And there's a process to take your name off. And I want to tell you that they tried that in Central last year. They tried to take off 110 people off the list in Central Pasture. And we aggressively fought them. Aggressively fought them. And not one of them name come off. And so I want to assure Jeffrey that I'm going to be there with him. So we could aggressively fight them to ensure that the 318 names stay on the list. And I'm here tonight on behalf of the people of Central Pasture to endorse Dr. Jeffrey Hanley. I have known Jeffrey practically all his life. He always served the people of his community and of St. Kitts-Nevis. Sometimes I wonder where he used to get the energy from. Everywhere he went, he was doing good, like Jesus. He was in Irish tongue school. He was in charge of the youth department, director of youth. And as Connery said, or Dr. Jew, whichever one, they went into office and they sought to demote him by putting him to teach in a school in constituency number 3, I think it's Banty Welch. And they think they're doing something. I went and I spoke with Jeffrey. He said, don't worry. Don't worry. He went there and he turned Banty Welch into the best primary school in St. Kitts-Nevis. Because Jeffrey has talent. Jeffrey has ideas. And Jeffrey will bring that same talent and those same ideas to the people of East Pasture. Jeffrey is a family man. He loves his children, his family. He will die for them. And have you ever seen a room that he's decorated? Have you ever seen it? He has a knack for those things. And so tonight, I am pleased, I am proud to bring the next speaker to the microphone. Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, who will be with the people of East Pasture. But just before he comes, I want you to turn your attention to the screen for just a moment.
The road to victory has begun. We are fired up and ready to go. For the last 5 years, we, the people of East Pasture, have been far too patient, but we are now ready. Ready for a man to serve. Ready for a man to commit. Ready for a man who will work on behalf of the good people in East Pasture. A man of the people and for the people. A man whose message continues to connect and reach every corner of the constituency. He says he's with you, but the people are saying they are with him.
I am supporting Jeffrey Hanley because he believes the children are the future. And he will support us in our future endeavors. Even though I'm not at voting age, Mr. Hanley, I am with you 100%. I am with you.
And the Comrade Jeffrey, even though I'm in my wheelchair and I have not one, I am with you all the way. You can call on me at any time and I will come.
Labour candidate for East Pasture constituency number 1, Jeffrey Hanley, I am with you.
Everybody take out all their arms and let me jump and kill Nobody can move way. On the road to progress, we must trod. This labor pride, we can't lose it.
I am with you.
When them with love,
It's back on board.